that we weren't actually broadcasting live. It's a very lovely hot Sunday here in the Gambia. I hope you can hear me. I hope you know that we are live. Cathal, do you mind just broadcasting that we're live for me on the community channel so people know that we are live? Oh, let's try and see if I can do it on this phone. So BlaXit family, BlaXit family, BlaXit family, how are you? I'm sweating, I'm wet, it's very hot today. Because the air is quite hot and I didn't want to put the fan on. Aha, someone said hello. So Fatima, how are you? Fatima Idris. How are you, hon? Are you okay? Okay, there's some people here. I was just putting on the phone. So let me just say hi and welcome to BlaXit. Thank you so much for joining. It has been a little while since I've gone live, so I do apologize for the slight absence. But as I explained before, I had a lot of things going on. So yeah, I miss you too. I miss you so much. Also, hello to Robert. And hello to Charlie. I got special shout outs to do as well that I wanted to do. I want to do a special shout out to Vicky. So hello Vicky, if you are live. Hello, how are you? And thank you for watching BlaXit. I want to say special hello to Caddy, also known as Crystal. Hello, how are you? And also to Silky. So hello, how are you? And also to Robert as well. Hello, how are you? I hope you are well. I want to say a shout out to those people that have been supporting BlaXit, my A1 day one. So salute yourself. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. Hello, Charlie, how are you? Oh, wow, you're in the US. Thank you for joining us in the US. Wherever you are in the world, let us know where you are. Thank you for joining BlaXit. Today's a little bit of a very hot topic. If you don't know who I am, I'm Nyancho Kajabi, aka Juliet. I'm the one who said England's a dump. Return to Africa. Okay. And I stand by my words. I stand by my words. So I'm here on a very hot and sunny afternoon here in the beautiful, beautiful Gambia on the west coast of Africa, which is where I call my home, and I've called my home for over 6 years. I started coming to Africa over 30 years ago, and I absolutely love it. And I'm encouraging all of you to come back home as well. Today is very hot, as you can see. I'm just sweating buckets. So, but I'll be here for, you're from Minnesota. Oh, wow. Thank you, Fathia. I miss you. I miss you so much. I did see your message. And so let's keep in touch. So yes, today, listen, fam, we are living in the times. What did I tell you? I've been on here for years and I've been saying it for years. And now we are there. We are there. We are there. We are there. We are living in times of what we call the anti-colonial era. Can you believe it? We've made it. Listen, we have made it. We are living in those times of change, those times of, oh, let me just pop open a button. I'm not doing a strip. I'm not doing a strip, but I'm so hot. Oh my goodness. Right. We are living in the, I might go and get a fan, actually, an extra fan. We are living in the times of change. It's all the excitement's getting me wet. We are living in the times of colonial change of one Africa. The dreams of Marcus Garvey, the dreams of Nkrumah, the dreams of Sankofa, the dreams of all of our past leaders is now coming into effect, and you are living in these times. How do you feel, fam? How do you feel? Everything that has happened, this is like prophecy, okay? This is like prophecy coming to reality. Yeah, this is the realness. This is the realness. We are really coming home in high numbers. We are really returning home now in high numbers. And we are really developing and investing in Africa and realizing that Africa is the option for us. And when we talk about anti-colonial times, many of us are realizing that we're not going to sit down and beg for reparations. We're going to make it ourselves. We realize that we can make the decisions that we want to about our lives, about our destinies, and that we can control our future ourselves, and that we can have say in the way in which we live, where we live, and doing what we want where we live. And that is so important. That is so important. Okay. And so I just want to say thank you for everyone joining. If you're new to BlaXit, welcome to BlaXit. BlaXit channel this channel was first created in 25th of April 2011 and branded and brought up to date by Woda Meyer, who worked with me in 2019. And we have been online most of the time, sending and bringing you content about what is going on in terms of repatriation. I'm a repatriational specialist. I'm also a business developer. I'm also the CEO of BlaXit Group. And of course, I am the founder of BlaXit. And yes, there are many fakes out there. Let me tell you this. There are many, 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 many fake BlaXit, but you are on the original, okay? You are on the original BlaXit. BlaXit is all about your exit from the West back to the best. And that is Africa, okay? So let me read some of your comments. Thank you, Han. Thank you, King Kunta Kinte. We love you so much, and we really miss you. Yeah, I miss you too, but you know, Mama's got to do some farming. Mama's got to grow her plants. Yeah, I do believe in eating what you grow and growing what you eat, and it is so possible here. So that is the reason why I was showing you my pineapple, showing you my oranges, showing you my limes, showing you my pawpaw, showing you my bananas, yeah, showing you all of the different things that I'm growing out here. Right now I'm trying to grow thyme, you know, so a friend of mine, Salma, she brought me some thyme over, so I'm regrowing that here, our own thyme. Hello, sister. Hello, how are you, Miriam? Yeah, are you all right? Yeah, you good? Yeah, my eyes are a bit better now. I can actually see the screen. Last time I had a bit of an eye infection, so I couldn't read, but I didn't know that's what was going on. But anyway, yeah, I'm good. I'm okay. Yeah, listen, big yourselves up. Send yourself nothing but love. This channel, just for anyone new who's joining, is all on a love vibration, okay? We don't do negativity. We don't do hateration on this station, on this platform, okay? BlaXit is all about Black unity, Black love, Black empowerment, and all about progressive Black movement, Black growing, and Black unity. It's all about, you know, us as Africans developing and forging the way forward. We now know who and where our enemies are. We no longer have to second guess that. We're not seeking for savior syndrome, because we know we can save ourselves, and we know where we're going, why we're going, and when we're going, okay? So we no longer need to seek validation or acceptance from any other race, because we know we're proud to be our African selves. We know that we are pro-Africa, we know that we are pro-Black, and we know that we have so much going for ourselves. We know what we created, what we invented, and we know we shaped humanity and civilization as it is. Not to say that other nations haven't contributed, but I'm saying that we have made great leaps and bounds, and we have, great leaps in terms of the advancement of humanity, and we mustn't forget it, and we must be proud of ourselves regardless of where we are. So Charles said he's going to Nigeria. He's going to expand trade between Africa and the diaspora. Perfect. It needs to be done. It really does need to be done, because at the end of the day, there's two things that are important, and that is the connectivity between the diaspora and our continental brothers and sisters. Is very, very, very important. That connectivity is so important, especially economically. When it comes to the economics, you cannot, you know, understate how important it is for us to create those relationships, for us to create those partnerships, for us to grow and develop together. And it's very important, because that is what, you know, the enemy is absolutely planning on. This is what they are, staking their future on, is that we're not going to unite, and we are going to unite. Yes, we have enemies. Yes, Africa has enemies. Yes, we do. People like to say, oh, gee, look, you always, No, it is true. If you have, corporations and institutions and organizations that are out to just eat out your resources, that are there to just underdevelop your people, that are there to suppress your people, I wouldn't say that they were your friends, that are there to vaccinate them and give them injections that are going to cause them to be infertile. I wouldn't say that they were your friends, that are going to give you food that has been, violated with terrible, harmful toxins and chemicals, and then send them over for you to eat. I wouldn't say that that was your friend. So we must know friend from foe. And, as Dr. Henry Clark said, we don't have any friends. And I think that he was very wise in his assumption. He was very wise in what he was saying. So let me just read some of your comments. Miriam said, one love Africa. I also want to give a shout out to Africa Stream. If you used to watch Africa Stream, please give an emoji, thumbs up like this in the comments for me. Please give a heart's fine, in the emojis for me for Africa Stream. I hope you do watch BlaXit, and I used to watch you, so it was something that we encouraged each other. So I want to say to you, do not give up. Do not give up, okay? Just, find another way and start again. Find another way and start again, please, I beg you, because what you were delivering to us was so important. The news about Africa was so important. BlaXit didn't set itself up as a news channel. No, not at all. I was sharing my experiences and sharing the experiences of other people that were looking to repatriate, sharing information about how to make that journey easier, sharing information about good and potential repatriation investments. And we have done that successfully. BlaXit has the largest diaspora cabildo here in Bussorah, which consists of 565 plots. Yeah. And I always have maintained that I want you to come to Africa to live as Africans. And I stand by it. Someone asked me recently, because we're launching a new part of BlaXit, which is called BlaXit Homes. And I have tried to make it as authentically African as possible. And so they've asked me why. And the reason why is because I'm not bringing you to Africa to live a European or an American experience. The idea is for you to come and live an African experience. And I think that is so important, that when you do come here, that is, that you are open to that you are open to living in that, and incorporating your life into Africa, assimilating your existence into Africa, and becoming veritably African. Yes, I was born in the UK. Yes, I was born, in a completely different culture, fish and chips, cup of tea, and yes, those are things that I still eat and drink now. However, I have embraced many of my African cultures and dishes and lifestyle choices, which I am very proud of. And I'm still, haphazardly learning the language. Yeah. Someone said, someone allow them. Okay. I don't quite understand. One love. Oh, Afri Street. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah. African Stream, absolutely. So Wonders, hello, are you? How are you? I'm gonna say hi to you, Wonders. Hi to you, Charles. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah. Hi, Joseph. How are you doing? So yeah, moving on. I was talking about. I saw an article. I don't know if you read the WSJ, the Wall Street Journal. But anyway, they had an article about, this is where the title of this comes from, this program, and why I'm going to be discussing about anti-colonialism, anti-fascism, anti-imperialism, and anti-racism today, and why it relates to repatriation, and why it also relates to what's going on in Burkina Faso. So I don't know if recently you saw the Wall Street Journal, where they had the title, and in it they mentioned about Burkina Faso being anti-Western. Okay, anti-Western. He lives in West Africa. Yeah, he is not anti-Western because he lives in West Africa. What he is anti is imperialism. What he is anti is colonialism. I can't stand this when they enemize our heroes, when they demonize our heroes, when they try to destroy the reputation, and they try to, destroy the character and character assassination of those people that are coming to make Africa great, that are working in their nations to help develop their countries and working for their people. I will not stand for it. It's an absolute disgrace. He is not anti-Western. He lives in West Africa. What he is anti-imperialistic, anti-racism, anti-discrimination, anti-fascism, and anti-imperialistic control that they have, constantly put on Africa, non-stop. They're constantly interfering in African affairs, constantly trying to control African leaders, and also always creating combative circumstances and situation between African leaders. So there's not going to be unity. They're supposed to be the United Empires of Africa. There is supposed to be the United Empires of Africa. That is supposed to exist here and now. But it's because of outside interference why it doesn't exist. It is because of outside imperialistic arrogance why it doesn't exist. It's because of financial interference why it doesn't exist. It's because of loans and misplaced aid and NGOs that are coming to take all that they can take, and companies that come, misguiders is coming to help while they walk out with, plane loads and cargoes of gold, okay, and cobalt. So let me say hello to, there are more comments. I do apologize for my slight delay in acknowledging your presence here on BlaXit. So that is African Accessories. Hello, Juliet. Looking good. Thank you so much. Looking hot too. Very hot. So, when I mean hot, I wasn't oh my goodness. You see how words can have a double meaning. Okay, and that's, is that Tariq's World of Wonders? The UK is getting miserable and life is almost impossible here. Oh, yeah. That's why I'm glad I got out when I did. To be honest with you, one of the things that I noticed, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why I left the UK, because I think it's very important to explain the whys and the hows and the wherefores to you, because that is part of the anti-colonial rhetoric that I'm talking about. I didn't like the colonialism and I didn't like the racism. That was, part of the reasons why I left the UK. I didn't like the fact that, if there was a bill, they'll find it, anything that they could charge you for, whether it was watching your TV, whether it's driving through London and a congestion charge, it was just like, and now you've got emissions and commissions and all kinds of other things. Like, it just felt like as though I was living and working just to pay debt, to be in debt 24/7. That's what it felt like. I wasn't living, I just felt like I was surviving, and that is not how I wanted to live. And the thing is that, someone sent me a video today about some homes that were being built in, I think it was Ghana. And so I watched it, I love Wodemire, so I watch it. And so I saw them and they were talking about prices and so on. I just want people to know, I built my house, for people who are watching in dollars, for less than 50,000. I built my house for less than $50,000, okay? and that was my 4-bedroom main premises. So I added to it a guest house and a pool house and a swimming pool. Okay, and I'm living in Africa. All right, and that included my solar and my borehole, okay, which means that I don't have any water rates or water bills. It also means that I don't have any utility bills. If I want gas, I buy a gas canister. I don't have electricity bills because I'm off the grid. I depend on solar. So, you know, and I can also grow my own fruit. I can grow my own potatoes. I can, you know, grow my own beans. I can grow my own tomatoes. I can grow my own onions. I can grow my own food as well. So, and I've also got an offer to make to you today, BlaXit. Okay, I have a piece of land which is in Benending. Benending is the village that is beside Gunjur. And I've spoken about Gunjur a lot, but I haven't spoken about Benending. Now, I want to make an offer because I want to encourage people to farm. So I have this land which is 50 by 50, and I want to divide it into quarters. And I want to farm a quarter which is 25 by 25, and I want to offer the other 3 quarters to BlaXit subscribers that are either here in the Gambia that would like to also farm. I'm not charging you. I'm sharing my land. Okay. The only thing I ask you to do is to fence your area, so obviously wild animals don't go across into anybody else's area. And you can just put a cheap local fence. It doesn't have to be an expensive fence. But if you are interested in farming locally and you would like to farm on my land, it's not a lease and it's not rent. It's just my land that I have here, and I want to offer it to share. So when I go to farm, there are other, you know, BlaXit subscribers there also farming too. So think about it and let me know if you're interested. If you are, Kafre will put our email address in the comment section. Kafre, I would like to thank you so much for moderating for me today. I really appreciate your help. That's our wonderful son who is he's growing up, he's developing, he's making his mum so proud. So I want to say I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you, and also very proud of my other children as well. They're doing wonders in this world, and I want to say congratulations to my firstborn son on passing his degree. Congratulations. Mummy is so proud of you. Mummy is so proud of you. My first born, my daughter, she has her doctorate already. So I want to say, you know, us, you know, we are doing it, family. Okay, we are developing and we are moving forward, and they are helping the community. So I want to say congratulations to my wonderful son, and thank you to obviously Kafre, and you know, keep making those moves to my wonderful daughter who's doing great over there in the States. So where am I? Taj's World says, okay, sorry, I think the next one was Robert. Yeah, he's speaking the truth. Okay, Vicky. Hello, Vicky. Hi, Vicky. How are you? Welcome to Gambia. Welcome to BlaXit. Thank you for joining us today on our live. Sure, see you soon. I'm looking forward to seeing my land. Absolutely, absolutely. You know, Khartoum is absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing. And if you haven't seen the latest video about Khartoum, please go and watch it. I did my best. Yeah, I tried. It was very hard because those plots are quite large. You don't realize how big land is until you have to go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. So I try to show them. So Khartoum Serenity Estate is our latest offering. We also have land in Aneto Sion, which is near Bussorah. There's also a plot of land which is going in Bussorah, and there's also land in Gunjur. So if you are interested, just drop us an email, info@blaxithome.com. That's info@blaxithome.com. I'm just going to read your comments if that's okay. Taj World said, I was doing, and let me turn this light off for 1 second, 1 minute, because it's blaring in my eyes. I was doing good in Africa, and I got 2 businesses. Then I moved to the UK, and oh no, and I regret it. Oh no. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, very, very sorry about that. Amazing, ideal, definitely need to grow food when I get there, and will be helping to farm. Lovely, lovely. So yeah, I'm really big on my farming thing at the moment. That is like my thing right now, is that I wanted to do that. There was a couple of things that I wanted to do. One of the projects that I wanted to do got duplicated, so I pulled out of it, because to me, I don't believe in, you know, one person having a hairdresser here and another one having a hairdresser here. To me, if you see they've got a hairdresser, then I leave you to develop your hairdresser and I'll promote your hairdresser for you. Yeah, I'm not going to come next to you to compete. I don't think that that's necessary. And so that's just my mindset anyway. The only person I compete against is myself. Okay, another thing is, you know, one thing I love about Ibrahim Traore, and that he's shown us, is that we don't need to care what other people really think about us. We just need to be focused on how we love and think about ourselves, and about how we take care of the people around us. And I think that is so, so important, because the way they're trying to destroy him is just unbelievable. The attacks that they've made on him, the assassination attempts on him, just shows us that we know exactly who our enemies are and what they're trying to do, and they don't want us to get ahead. But Africa is forging ahead regardless. There are so many great things happening. Ibrahim Traore launched free education. Namibia also is now controlling their resources. Many other African countries are controlling their resources. Even Senegal is making strides in terms of taking back and throwing away some of the colonial names of their areas, which is good. I think that needs to be done in all African countries. So I call on all African countries in terms of, can you close the door for me, Nabs? Yeah. In terms of, sorry about that. In terms of all African countries, you know, being sovereign and having their own self-determination. One of the things that we have to do in our aim to go against colonialism is to get rid of all the colonial names of the roads and of these, you know, we're still praising them. Praise them for what? Praising them for what? Yeah, we need to praise ourselves. And that's why it's so important that, you know, we do change these, because these remnants of the colonial past, the remnants of, I'm not saying that we should forget enslavement, never. In fact, I think that, you know, we should have a national holiday, not just for everyone that had Juneteenth. Sorry, I wasn't able to celebrate with you this year. I had so much going on that I wasn't able to celebrate. But for everybody, it's a belated Juneteenth to you. You know, it's a very important holiday, one that we should all celebrate, I believe, all over the world. So, you know, happy Juneteenth to everybody. Big up that celebration. It is, you know, it is good to commemorate our ancestors, and it is very good that we remember what was done to them and why we're here, because at the end of the day, we must avenge our ancestors. People might say, oh, Juliet, you're the warmongering tour again, Juliet. Yes, I do. I don't believe what's happened to them should be left undone. I don't believe that they should just be forgotten. I don't believe that. And I believe that part of our colonial legacy that we have inherited is part of a passiveness that they want us to be. You know, and no, you know, we must be aggressive to ourselves and passive to them. And so they put us in this, you know, passive aggressive kind of mentality. They've done so much psychology on us, you know. They've given us intermittent, oh God, I forgot what I was about to say. I lost my trail of thought there. What was I saying? But anyway, let me get back on reading some of the comments. Hello. So this is Jeffa, how are you? Hi, baby. You're looking like a Jack Sparrow. Oh, my goodness. You're giving me comments. You know what? You're giving me jokes today. Vicky said, yes, we are Oh, sorry, I've forgotten because the light's shining. You see, this is when these lights, when you have these lights. Yeah, we need to get an international holiday. Yeah, absolutely. I do believe maybe, you know, we can celebrate Juneteenth around the world. Maybe that's something that we can do. What do you think? Please tell me. If you're in America, do you think that Juneteenth should be celebrated all over the world to commemorate slavery all over the world, including, of course, America, including Brazil, including the Caribbeans, including the South Pacific, including Australia? You know, we mustn't forget about the Tasmanians. We mustn't forget about, you know, and including, of course, on the continent itself, and of course in the East Asia as well, and across to China, etc. So we mustn't forget that there was some form of slavery done in different locations. Maybe not on such a large extent, and of course in the Middle East as well. You're looking, you're talking continuously. Take some water. Oh, thank you so much. Give me a glass. Pour me a glass. Yeah. But we appreciate your concern. Okay, can someone get me a glass of water, please? Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you to be so concerned. Yeah? And so I was talking about the fact that, you know, a lot of psychology has been done on us. And I'm not going to go back to giving them the credit of saying, oh, they created all of it. You know, because what they've done is they've used some things that are automatically in our psyche against us. And so I think what we've done, it's all right, I'll just have some with lime. Just pull a lime off the tree for me, please. Yeah, so I think what we can do as a peoples is to accept that we are going to change the narrative. And I think that's so important, that we decide that we are going to change the narrative, not just for our generation, but for generations to come. I think that's so important that one of the most important things I did was to invest in my children and ensure that they could also have land here, because they have a choice. And I think having that choice is so important. Dawn, how are you? Thank you so much. Kisses to you. And okay, so Jeffa, any questions you want to ask me personally, you can do so by emailing info@blaxithome.com. It feels a bit personal. Yeah, so Jeffa, if you're ready for a woman like me, I'm a Sigma female. Okay, Sigma females, if you don't know anything about Sigma females, go and do some research. Okay, do some research about a Sigma female. Okay, if anyone knows about Sigma females, put them in the comments for me, please. Put it in the comments. If anyone knows about Sigma females, you'll understand what I'm saying. Okay, so what types of questions? Like I said, I'm a Sigma female. If you understand what a Sigma female is, you will understand what kind of questions you can and you can't ask. Okay? Okay, so let me get back onto topic. So I was saying that they've given us intermittent reinforcement. If you understand about intermittent reinforcement, let me know in the comments. Yeah, they've done this on purpose. And so intermittent reinforcement, let me give you a brief example. Intermittent reinforcement, wow, your voice is awesome. And you're from Kenya. Who's that? Sorry, I just can't see your name. Let's go back down. You know, I can't see your name properly. Write it out for me. Nigaya, I think. Oh, my love. Thank you, my love. There, Jeffers. I got these lives off my tree. Okay, just in case. You're wondering, there's nothing like borehole water with ice. Borehole water with ice and lime. Oh my God. I love it. So yeah, they've given us intermittent reinforcement. Anyone know what intermittent reinforcement is, or the psychological term, what it means? Let me know. Put it in the comments below. And that's why we stay in their countries. Okay, that's the reason why you know, we don't have that zest to leave, like some of our forebears or our grandparents did, because a lot of our grandparents said, "Well, we just want to come here." My grandma used to say, excuse my accent, okay, excuse the accent, but my grandma, she was from St. Elizabeth in Jamaica. And she said, "Why? Me just come here for make money. Me don't want to come here for stay. Me don't love this place. I do cool and the people them nasty." That's what my grandma used to say. I don't know if you understood me, yeah, but I think that was, she spoke Patois. She didn't really speak. She spoke with a Patois dialect. She didn't speak with an English accent. No matter how long she said English, she said, "Me don't want no Queen's English. Me not the Queen in this cool place. Me don't like it." So she said basically she didn't like staying there. She didn't like it. She didn't find the people very amenable. That's basically what she was saying. And so she only worked so that she could build her house back home. And so I'm thinking that, you know, that's also what we need to do. But I feel that they've given us intermittent reinforcement. So they give us little, you know, it was the experiment with the mice where they first trained the mice by giving them, you know, little scraps of food to eat. So they would run to this little trap door and they would then get these, you know, little scraps of food to eat. And so what they did was they gave them these little scraps of food to eat on a regular basis. This is the intermittent reinforcement. And then they started to stop bringing the scraps, but they open the door and the mice would still run. The mice will still stay. And so that's what's happened to us. We still think the benefits are there, but not realize that we're in an individual prison with them feeding us scraps as and when they want to, when the paradise is over in Africa. So they give us a house, for example, yeah, for 250,000, a 2-bedroom house, okay? For example, in a suburb of London, that you're paying a mortgage for 250,000, when you could take the 50,000, yeah, the deposit, and go and build your whole house in Africa and live and make your business and live. They duped us, and so they keep us there paying their taxes, paying their bills, paying for this house that we don't duly really own because they still own the land, okay? And they keep us in their servitude. They keep us in their servitude. It's crazy. While they come to Africa, buy up coastal land, make their guest houses and whatever, while they've got us working for their companies while they're enjoying Africa. And then we're the ones that go and stay in their guest houses when they're here. So they're making money from us there and they're making money from us here. Wow. And they're giving us intermittent reinforcement. It's a psychological trick, okay? It really is, and that's what they've given us. The same way as like with the benefit system. They do it just so that you have just enough to stop to stay, okay? It's a trick. It's all a trick. When, in fact, you realize that you don't actually really need it. It'd be better that you go and you try and create your own business rather than rely on their benefit system, unless, of course, you have a disability or something, which I completely understand and I can completely empathize with, because there are times when we all need a system to depend on at some stage, especially, you know, bereavement or what have you, or disability, illness, these kinds of things, unemployment. I do understand that. But what I am saying is that we don't want to use it as a crutch. Yeah, I'm saying that, you know, you also have to establish for yourself. We have to get more entrepreneurial. That is how we're going to get out of this colonial trap. We can become anti-colonial when we don't depend on them at all. Okay, and when I say at all, I mean, yes, you have to get into one of their carriers to fly across to Africa, unless, of course, the African country has their own national airline that is flying from the particular area that you're in. Okay, but I'm saying that, you know, invariably we have to get, you know, more independent. Okay, and that means that we need to get more business minded, but business minded for ourselves, business minded in terms of developing our nations, developing our own villages and becoming a community again. And what they've done is, by using intermittent reinforcement, they have created they have created a lot of fractions and a lot of, you know, breakages in our community. They have done it. And I want us to realize, I don't care if you're Baptist, I don't care if you're Muslim, I don't care, you know, if it's you're into Taoism, I don't care if you're a Buddhist. You know, as long as you're an African and you're black, we need to stay together, and we shouldn't allow religion or any other difference to keep us apart. Yeah, in order to create harm for us. I mean, you know, yes, I understand about the jealousy and the other issues that we can have to fight against one another, you know, but we should learn to start controlling our emotions. I think that's very important. We need to become more stoic in the future in order to unite, so that we can put aside differences and come to unify for the greater good. That's how we can become more anti-colonial, because that way we can start to become more self-reliant, more independent, and of course we can start loving ourselves and respecting ourselves more, because you don't respect someone who's got their hand out, essentially, and essentially sometimes people envisage Africa, they see Africa as having its hand out, when Africa is the place where people are putting their hands into. That's where they're getting their resources from. That's where they're getting their cobalt from. That's where they're getting their rubber from. That's where they're getting their gold from. That's where they're getting their diamonds from, their emeralds from. You know, this is it. So, you know, we have to be in control of our resources. And that's why I do respect the model, and I keep talking about it, of the president of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. I keep talking about him because he has set a good blueprint, and we must follow blueprint. The same way as Marcus Garvey set a good blueprint for repatriation. And, you know, we must give credit where credit is due. Hello to also Dr. Julius Garvey, Marcus Garvey's son. I hope you do go and see his thank you video on the channel. I did notice that he had very low views. So hopefully please go back and watch that channel. His throat was a bit dry, but please do watch it, because he says some very, very important things in that video. Yeah. Right. I'm just going to go. What type of? Okay. Thank you so much. Mwangi. Hello. How are you? Strangeful. Waves from Baku. Oh, Bakau. I was in Bakau the other day, actually. They've got a wonderful shop there that I love in Bakau. Bakau is in Gambia, everybody. Bakau is a lovely area. Also, it has lovely beaches as well. Vicky said, yeah, it's Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, we do have Stockholm syndrome, where you actually love the person that's imprisoned you. You love the person that's harming you. We do have Stockholm syndrome, but intermittent reinforcement is actually a part of that, because you actually forget and keep going back for more. You know, so they don't need to feed you anymore, you keep going to the door yourself. And so what they've done is they set it up so that even people are, you know, killing themselves in boats to go across to the west because of the image that has been created. So they don't even have to create it anymore. It's an automatic thing where, you know, we want to go and invest there rather than invest here. And so we've been hoodwinked, we've been tricked, we've been bamboozled, we've been fooled, we've been deceived. So I talked about anti-colonialism. So colonial system is a system that completely controls a country. So if I talk about anti-colonialism, it might be maybe I need to break it down a little bit. So colonialism is where I say, I'm going to move, let's say, for example, I'm going to move into your town, okay? And when I move into your town, you already have your own set spirituality that you had, okay? You already have your local systems of barter, and you already have your own local businesses set up. You already have your own stores for grain and for food. You already have your own farming and inundation system set up. You already have your system of education and infrastructure set up. You already have your own governance system set up. You have your own council of elders, etc. Okay. Now, what happens is I got a couple of things I wanted to share as well. So I wrote them down. I just want to make sure that I remember to share them. So I've just got my book. Yeah. So what happens is that they go in wholesale and they say, no, 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 you're not doing that right. Okay, you don't need that type of religion. We have got a super God for you. Okay, so forget that, what you were worshipping before. No, no, no. Doesn't have blue eyes, doesn't have long blonde hair. So that's not the right one for you. Our one is the one that has been ordained. That is the one that you must have. So now, no, you don't worship your own image. No, you don't, worship deities that look like you. Oh no, if he hasn't got blue eyes, blonde hair and white skin, then that can't be your savior. Your savior can't look like you because you're devils. Okay, you're demons. We've demonized you now. Okay, and then what we're also going to do is no, your education system, no. What you're teaching and learning yourselves in your own language, no, our language is far more superior. Don't you know? Forget your language, and if we hear you talking it, we're going to punish you, we're going to beat you, and we're going to imprison you, because we don't want that. Ours is far more superior. We're the colonialists that are coming in to control you, don't you know? And if we don't understand what you're saying, it's not good enough for us. We need to control, and you don't speak your own language anymore. You praise our God, okay? That's right, our religion. Now you follow our education system, because our education system is the only one that you must follow, because we need to brainwash you entirely, okay? So we have to tell you what you believe. That's why we take your religion. That's why we give you religion. We have to tell you exactly what you need to learn. We have to tell you how to learn, and we have to tell you how to teach your offspring, so future generations will think exactly as we do. That's colonialization. And now, no, what are you talking about? You have council of elders. No, we have parliament. Oh no, that will never do. You have to do it as we do it. So we tell you the rules. And now, no, you cannot just go down the road. Now you have to stop at this point, and you have to show this man who you are. And if he doesn't agree for you to be there, then we lock you up. That's right. Now we're in control. No. What do you mean you're going out at night and you're going to throw arrows into the sky and you're going to worship your ancestors? No. We're creating your laws. We've now made that illegal. No. You cannot ride your horses up and down the street. We've made that illegal. We create your laws. No. You cannot drink your local minute beer. You must buy from us in our shops. No, you cannot make your own produce. You have to wear the clothes that we say you own. No, you cannot wear those local African bilbaos or anything like that. No. You have to wear what we sell in our shops. Okay, and don't forget, also, we make your laws. So now we've made your laws, we can lock you up for anything that we decide that we don't want you to do, so we can control you. And we can also bring in corporate law if we want to as well, because God forbid that you had your own laws and you had your own council of elders. No, now we've brought in our own courts, and we'll hang, drag and quarter you in front of your people and hang you in trees. And no, there's no way that you're going to work in your fields for yourself. We're going to enslave you, okay? And so you work for free now, you work for us. Yeah, we can entirely and completely own you. And by the way, we're going to ship you abroad as well to work on our other colonies, and we're going to make you walk for miles, for days. We're going to brand you with a hot iron, and then when we finish branding you with a hot iron, we're going to, oil you down like seals, and then we're going to put you in this lovely cargo ship and pack you as tight as sardines. We're going to force feed you, break your teeth and your mouth in order to give you food that you don't want. And we're going to make sure that you sleep in your own feces and urine, and that you sleep next to dead bodies for at least 40 days of passage. So no, that's colonialism for you. We control you, don't you know? We make the roads, we make the houses, and you pay for them. We take all of your millets, we take all of your gold, we take all of your silver, we take all of your copper, we take all of your rubber, and then guess what? We might punish you by, just like in Congo with King Leopoldo, we might just chop off your hands and your legs if you don't work hard enough. So, what are you complaining about colonialism? What do you mean anti-colonialism? Why would you like the anti-colonialism? Isn't that the perfect system? That's exactly what they did to us. Okay? So that's what colonialism really is. They came in and they took over everything and destroyed everything. And then when they left after they wanted their system, after they got overthrown, we wanted our independence, they destroyed everything. So don't forget those ancestors that died in that system, those ancestors that said no, those people that refused to go into slavery, and those mothers that even with their children threw themselves, off of the ship into the sea to their own watery death. So I just want to talk about that just for a minute. So when I'm talking about anti-colonialism, that is what I'm saying. So when you stand up for it, you're standing up for the right thing. So when they're talking about anti-Western with Ibrahim Traore in the Wall Street Journal, go and look for yourself if you don't believe me. Go and look for yourself. It's an absolute cheek. Why should we love the people that done this to us? Why? I'm sorry, but that doesn't favor me. That's why I'm here in Africa. So I also talked about anti-imperialism. And anti-imperialism lends itself to the fact that, what's an easy way of putting it, that it's our way or the highway, yeah? And we'll keep you in debt. And we'll make sure that we put our governance systems and our people in place to make sure that you stay in place. And that we have the upper hand in everything, and we look down on you as though you are subhuman, as though you're animals, okay? That's imperialism, okay? Fascism is hatred. Racism, as you know, is prejudice with power. That's ensuring that the system stays the same, okay? Fascism is making sure you, okay? So I've just kind of broken that down. But there was something that that really hit me. I hope I haven't lost the page. Oh. So there was something that I wrote. I was writing some notes because I was passed on a post about a program. I think I did an interview with, I think it was Dinah Samir, and some other commentator on YouTube decided to comment on it to say that what I was talking about was absolute baloney. So I just want to come back to say, no, it wasn't, okay? And one of the things that we were talking about, if you remember rightly before, was Thomas Fuller. Thomas Fuller in 1710. Thomas Fuller was called the Virginia calculator, and he came from somewhere around between Liberia and I think Benin. And they also used to call him, sorry about the word, but Negro Demus. Mathematical abilities, and he was enslaved. He was enslaved by a woman called Elizabeth Cox. Elizabeth Cox of Alexandria, Virginia, in America. And so this is like when people talk about, slavery wasn't that, yes, it actually was. I mean, it did have, far-reaching impact. And because he was a specialist of his time, they used him. They used and abused him and tried to make sure that, his memory would not be remembered. But he was the first human computer. So when they want to talk about computers, they want to talk about Charles Babbage. You talk about Thomas Fuller because, we have our own. And so he was the first human calculator, and a calculator to all extents. I mean, and also people don't realize that Charles Babbage didn't even finish that machine. If you don't believe me, go and research it. Charles Babbage did not even finish the machine. And so when they want to credit their own people, they will credit them with partly made machines and credit them with inventing stuff, but they don't want to credit the people that made the super chips and so on. Sorry, I'm sweating so much, it's going in my eye and stinging me. Right, I just want to read something from a quote that I heard, part of a quote from Ibrahima Traore, and I really liked it. He said, "My enemies will not be able to steal what was meant for me." Okay? Hang on, where is it? Sorry, where's it gone? Okay, yeah. He talked about the contribution to human achievement, and he was talking. I'm not sure if when this actually happened. Okay, I'm just taking a quote that I got from somewhere, and it's about and I'm talking about the anti-imperialistic thing. And this is how we can get over it, is because when we remember our own achievements, we can overcome this anti-imperialistic mindset that they have, okay? Because we can empower ourselves. So I just dealt with anti-colonialism, yeah? Anti-colonialism, how do we do that? By self-empowering ourselves, having self-determination, having our own and doing for self, okay? That is how we deal with anti-colonialism, okay? Get them out of our systems, get back in control of our resources, okay? So it says, he basically said, he was talking about, this other professor was talking about from Oxford, about how none of the major, okay, I think I went off for a second. I'm going to go through your comments in like 1 second, okay? Not 1 second, just give me a sec just to go through this, because this is your anti-imperialistic, the title of this program is about anti-colonialism, anti-imperialism, anti-fascism, anti-racism, and it's very important that we empower ourselves, okay? That's what this live is about, because I realize that many of us don't retort in the right way. So when someone tells me about, oh, colonization, you don't understand. Colonization, how is it good for me? How? I can retort and say, no, it wasn't, 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 and I can go on and say exactly